Am I audible now? Okay, great. So we have to start in a few minutes. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Let me see if we can have the rest of the speakers. Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you very much for joining from wherever you are. It's time for us to start. Um, my name is Lucy Mario Simao. I am the Managing Director of Entrepreneurs Network and Business Advancement. And today we are bringing to you what we call the Entrepreneurs Network and Business Advancement Summit 2024, where we bring the best brains of our African continent to talk about issues that has to do with entrepreneurship in the continent and project the future of entrepreneurship in our continent. So today, we are going to really spend a really great time, and I want you to really have something that you're going to take out of this meeting today. It's not just a day of conversations where we're just going to be talking, but it's a day which we are going to be engaging on very important subjects that rages the entrepreneurship in Africa, and giving out some ideas, insights, pointers that will be really relevant for us to get to where we want to be in a couple of years, based on our objectives, based on our goals. This is what we want to do tonight. So the importance of this meeting is that we are going to be engaging on things that will help us have a different perspective about entrepreneurship. It is not as easy as sometimes people put it to be an entrepreneur, and specifically, you know, um, to be an entrepreneur like in a continent like Africa, where there's everything but we don't see it. I'll put it that way. So, because if I say there's no resources, I will be lying, because there's everything for a for a market to grow. There's everything for a sector to develop, but we just don't see it. We just don't tap into it due to certain things that we all know. We face government, leadership issues. We face monitoring and evaluation issues. We face social, problems, economical problems, political instability, and many other factors that affect the entrepreneurial world, or entrepreneurial landscape in the African continent. But today, as we start, we are going to share a lot of points, a lot of insights around around this. So I would like you, wherever you're following us, please share um, the link, share the YouTube link, share the LinkedIn link with your network. Ensure that you are not the only one following us. You're not the only one watching us or learning from this experience, but let more people be able to engage with what we are doing here. Tonight, it's going to be a wonderful day. It's going to be a wonderful moment. It's going to be a wonderful night. And I really want all of us to get the maximum of what is happening today. We have wonderful speakers that are going to be on board. Speakers that really understand the African context, the African market. Speakers that have had experiences, and actually have experiences that we would like to bring on, and they will speak from their heart. Both they will speak as well um, from their experience and knowledge, and I want you to benefit from this. So we will have sessions of questions and answers. So write down on the comment section. You will be able to ask your questions. You can comment. You can like, share, anything. Whatever you feel like you would like to do with this video, with this content, this content. Please don't hesitate to participate. We want the audience to participate. It's very, very, very important. So as we start, you know, this event is very, very important for our time now. It's very important for our current time. You know, there's so much that we need to do. There's so much that we need to understand. You know, from what we have in our continent that makes so relevant this summit. And there's nothing more, you know, that needs to be addressed in our current time if it's not this kind of subject. I mean, Africa has, you know, over 60% of its population. It's between you know, 15 to 35, right? So it's a very young very, very young generation that we have currently. And the majority of young people that we have is thinking of creating different opportunities for themselves. They're, you know, they are thinking of getting themselves into spaces that would allow them to grow, you know, put their knowledge, their expertise on the ground, you know. So how do we actually create that space that is going to allow young people to enjoy, you know, the fruits of their own efforts? That's what we are struggling currently. That's our main problem. And we all need to work together in this way so that we can create an environment in our continent that is going to allow fast growth for our young people and for anyone who is willing to uncover, you know, their potential or discover opportunities for growth. So tonight, the topic that we are about to discuss is pioneering the future of entrepreneurship in Africa. So we're going to be touching on topics like leadership, innovation, and sustainable growth. Okay. So all this is what seeds and, you know, works together for a better entrepreneurial you know, ecosystem in our continent. So if we are able to understand, to have this key very well understood, like leadership, um, innovation, you know, and sustainability, localization, all these things, governance, if we are able to understand how all of them work together for a more effective, you know, business ecosystem in the continent, we will be able to, you know, surpass the difficulties that we are facing tonight. So welcome again to this virtual event that is focused on uniting Africa's business leaders to drive economic development, economic empowerment, sustainability, growth, transformation. Once again, welcome to this virtual event. As we as we start, I would like all of you to continue to share. Continue to share all the link, you know, continue to share the link. If you are following us from LinkedIn, you know, share the link. If you are also following us from YouTube Also, share the link across with your network. We would like to have as many people as possible joining our live session. Okay, so tonight we're gonna have two panel. Among the two panels that we would like to have, we'll discuss different topics. The first will be mostly focused on business, and then the second is going to be mostly focused on leadership. So I want you to really be with us here because we are going to learn a lot tonight. We are going to really learn a lot. Keep on sharing the link so that we are able to touch more lives. There's so much more that I think we need to learn, and we need to really bring our minds together as African leaders to empower the work that we are doing. So please don't forget, keep on sharing the link. As we should be calling soon some of our speakers are already in the room, so we will be bringing them up soon to engage with us. Well, we are going to open our session with the first speech from the Reverend Iris Victorine from Nigeria, as she apologized that she would be a little bit late to start with us. But she decided, okay, I need to do this video for, you know, for the community before, I miss the opportunity to empower. So it's a good moment, and I would like to share her video as we start as an open speech, which she will be speaking on the Africa regional integration and giving some context around it. So if you are following us, please don't forget to continue to share this link with your network. Share, watch us from YouTube or watch us from LinkedIn, and keep on sharing and sharing and sharing. Okay, so here it is. Okay, Reverend Victorine Iris Joel Nkiruka. She is the president of African International Trade Network. And she has been for very, very long time, operating in the African continent, empowering trade between Africans and Africans here in the continent and the African diaspora. So we are going to hear a bit from her. Fantastic. Thank you very much. As you can see, we had a 5 minute interaction with the Reverend Iris, and she mentioned on topics that are very, very important, which will drive us now to our next stage of the conversation. And I would like to actually bring Mr. Ruben Tamba to come on because this is one of the topics that leads to what it does. And we would like to discuss on the topic of harnessing. You know, we want to know how you can, harness innovation to overcome market challenges in Africa. You know, and it's very important that we find strategies because I mean we have young people with so many brilliant minds, but then it looks like in our continent the space for innovative brains it's kind of very restrict. Many different things affecting that. But I want us to have this discussion with Mr. Robin Tamba as he comes up on board to exchange and see how do we harness innovation in the African continent to allow creativity and innovation to flow much easier. So I'll be bringing Mr. Ruben Tamba on board. Mr. Ruben, are you able to hear me? Hello, Mr. Ruben. We have you on board. We would like to start engaging with you on the harnessing innovation. Um, you know, for the better business, growth and transformation in Africa. Well, I just got a message from Mr. Ruben Tamba saying that he is in transit, so his connection is a little bit faulty. So the audience, please keep on sharing this link, keep on sharing the event, keep on asking your friends and family to join us because we are really definitely going to have a very good time. So as we wait a little bit for Mr. Ruben to get his connection sorted, I would like to bring someone on board that also is one of our speakers that will be able to provide so much insight around this relevant topic. But it's going to be mostly directed on the side of leadership. So because he as a young man has been working and training, traveling all across the world, empowering young people, and his leadership skills have been creating and building a new generation of African entrepreneurs and young Africans who are focused on changing the trajectory of Africa from all different aspects, social, economic, even politics. And I would like to bring up Mr. Fabrice to come and join us here. Mr. Fabrice,
Yes.
it's an honor to have you on board.
Thank you.
Yes, for those who do not know Mr. Fabrice, I love his last name because his name is very is many meaningful, and it's Kaburugutu.
Yeah, yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Mr. Fabrice Kaburugutu, he is the CEO of Association of Young Leaders United for Sustainable Development. So as you can see, he's a young man who has been working very hard in his own field as a leader to empower young people, transforming them through leadership and making a lot of these young people able to be innovative, creative, focused on developing, growing, and transforming the continent in all possible ways. So please welcome Mr. Fabrice on board.
Mhm.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Fabrice. Well, I love to
Yes.
have conversation with my guests, right? So, and today I want you to just give us a brief first, okay, of what have you been doing in the continent? It's your trajectory as an entrepreneur, as a young leader, empowering a lot of other young people. What have you been into?
Thank you very much for the good introduction. Uh, as I said, I'm Fabrice Kaburugutu from Burundi, founder and CEO at the Association of Young Leaders United for Sustainable Development. Uh, Now I can talk about my leadership experience here in Africa and across the world, as I've been creating the organization so that I can empower other young people just at the end of my high school studies. And what I can say is that within Africa, we've been knowing different leaders role model, and then we have to change a little bit what leadership we have. I don't know if I go directly to my thematic or it's just a briefing of what I've been doing now.
Yes, it's a conversation. I want you to just empower us. Bring a bit more of what you have.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. And then leadership is a concept that has been treated by different actors. And I will talk leadership into practice so that we can really understand what is
Yeah.
leadership. Yes, and many people are confused when they said that way. Uh, in the last century, they were saying that a leader is an innate skills, but now you can even learn about and develop your ability to to empower the community. And now everyone is a leader because we have a follower. Even if someone who can say no, I'm not doing something in the community, but have followers, for example, in class or in the community, even on social media. If you have, for example, 200 friends on Facebook or on Instagram, that means you have some followers and you are their influencer. You can influence them and empower them through your what you share on your social media, for example. But within Africa, for example, in my case, I've been working hard on peace and youth, meaningful engagement, uh, and mostly the inclusion of young people in decision-making processes. And because although we have the young people are the majority of African continent, they are not taken, their idea are not taken into consideration in the decision making processes. And then
Mm.
within the high level meeting I've been attending, that is our main activities within our organization so that young people can have the place they want and also be empowered. Now, as we are talking about, for example, entrepreneurship, as young people, we have to be an ethical leader and a transformative leader, because we need to be to do differently, to be differently with others, with what others have been doing. Uh, let me explain what I can say about the ethical leader, because can be a new concept. But when we understand ethical leader, we can understand directly the ethic, ethics, and then
Yeah.
we have the many different values to consider, like integrity, and so that we can create the trust within the community. Because sometimes if you can try to analyze the even the leadership we have uh, currently in Africa, is that the population don't have the trust to their leader. For example, for their president, you will understand the different conflict. I'm talking that because I'm more currently working on peace. We work on peace within our organization. And if you try to consider a country X in Africa, you will see that and try to ask the population, you will understand that they are not proud of their leaders, what they are doing. And then that is because they are not building the trust within their population. And then when we want to be in a successful entrepreneurs, we have to build trust with our uh, our clients, our stakeholders, and then uh, they can have the partnership agreement with them and expand our brand. Uh, and then we will have the ability to bring a positive change in our community, because although we have been having different leaders, we've not getting uh, all leaders have not brought the positive change in the community. You understand that there has been a different leader that has even
Mm.
brought their country or in the community uh, the negative impact. Yes, and then that can be changed. As I was
But
talking
now,
about,
but
yes,
now,
and
Mr. Fabrice,
uh-huh,
yeah, there's one big concern from what you said when you
uh-huh,
talk
yes,
about ethical leadership, right? So my
yes,
question is, what type of, you know, personalities, or I can even go deep, say character, you know, that is
yeah,
required for African leaders to have, you know,
uh,
in order to empower entrepreneurship in a continent. What are those qualities that you feel like, okay, we need to have these qualities, this is what we need to reflect as
uh,
leaders, or yes, even young leaders, in order for us to make our continent a place for growth and sustainability, as you mentioned.
absolutely. Uh, the essential quality of ethic leaders, for example, the quality we need, the first one can be the integrity. As young people, we have to get the integrity, the fairness. If if you I find, for example, six qualities or values. Fairness, because we are now working on the system when we have like the accountability is not well demonstrated, and even accountability is another quality, and
Mm.
transparency. as an entrepreneur, you have to be very transparent, accountable, so that if you get a credit or a loan from the bank, a bank credit, you you can implement the project you've been planned to implement, and then be accountable. When you are accountable, even other partner or other financial institution will believe in your capability to give you even more, so that you can scale your business and expand your business in other countries, because you have a good reputation and a good accountability. You will get the recommendation. And the other important quality is to have a role model, because when you have a role model, a good role model, you will work hard so that you can achieve your vision. And also consent for followers. When we talk followers, clients, stakeholders, and even the employees from the business we are working on. It is very important to have those qualities, because it helps to build trust and credibility. And when
Mm-hmm.
we talk about that, this is very scale in Africa. When we talk about trust and the credibility, it is the quality we really need now, so that we can be a successful entrepreneurs. And also we have to, within those qualities, it helps us to enhance organization reputation. If you
Mm.
have a corporation and enterprise, the reputation will increase. And also encourage a positive workplace culture. Because by,
Mm.
by, by that, yes, I want to talk about encouraging a positive workplace culture, because you have the accountability, you have the reputation, and even those with experience will have to ask to work with you and to partner, and also reduce the risk of legal issue and scandal. Because even if we are being investing or entrepreneurs, we have to work. There is different law, and when we have the reputation and
Well, I think we are having a little bit of a breakdown from Mr. Fabre's side. Okay, so I think we've managed to understand a bit of what it was saying. In the last part, was mentioning about enhancing a good working culture. It's very important as a leader or as an entrepreneur, wherever you are. You need to be able to enhance, empower that, a good working culture. But I think that also is a very big issue that sometimes we also face within our workspace, that we just go for the sake of whatever we are getting out of it, but then we feel uncomfortable every time we are in the space. So because it's the working culture that is being affected. So if we have a working culture, or a leader who knows how to enhance a positive working culture, it definitely and empowers you as a person, you know um, and even you as a leader who do that in your own working space, you feel like you're not just building a group of employees who get paid at the end of the month, but you build a family. Okay, so that's very important. So I will be checking out on Mr. Fabrice again when he comes back, to find out what is the technical issue that is facing. But I would like to also jump straight to bringing up then someone also is very involved in this basis of leadership and mentorship, and his name is Anele Silo. He is the founder of the founder and president of Edukazi, and I would like you all to hear from him as well. Mr. Anele, welcome on board.
Mr. Simao, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I'm privileged, can I say. Thank you very much. Look, I want to raise my respect before I say anything. I want to raise my respect to you for your administrative abilities and also putting this together. I truly commend you for that, can I say. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for inviting me. It's an honor, and I'm privileged to be sitting and speaking among the most ablest minds of the African continent. Look, when you invite me to speak of a topic called leadership and mentorship, then it is important that not to draw from my own importance or to ascertain myself any dominance, but it becomes important that I introduce myself this way. Igama lam ngu-Anele Silo. I am born of a chief of the Tembu people in South Africa, the Western Tembu land. If you know the Tembu people, if you're not learned or you're not willing to learn, you just say there's a sub-tribe of the Xhosa people. But if you know Nelson Mandela, we are born of the same great-great-grandfather. So I'm telling you that because I want you, if you have a notebook with you, I want you to trust me enough to take it out and open it and take a pen. Because when I ponder around the topic of leadership, it's not because I've learned about it. It's because I was born in it and I happened to learn about it and I was appointed to it as well. Right? How does leadership become important in the entrepreneurial space? Right? That I must put out first. Look, we're in Africa. And in Africa, we've got the youngest population in the entire world. If 60% of Africans are adults, which means they are under the age of 25, then it means Africa is a gold mine of potential, right? And there's a difference between potential and the actual thing, which is now would be your success and what we see Africa to be, right? So it becomes very important that we nurture qualities such as leadership, right? And how do we nurture leadership? And I want to call this into existence, especially for our young people who are going to entrepreneurship. I want you guys to think about this, and you have time, write it down. We happen to quit our jobs, to quit school because we want to be entrepreneurs. That is the trend now, right? We go out of school to become entrepreneurs. But if you leave school to become an entrepreneur, there's something that you're missing. As an entrepreneur, you need to be willing to learn. That means you are going to have to open a book eventually. So we cannot run away from education. Myself as an education advocate, this calls then your powers of the observation when it comes to education into play, right? So as a leader, number one, you must be willing to learn and educate yourself, right? So the education is in three forms. It begins with yourself, that is self-learning. I tell you, my brother, you have to open that book and read if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. So running away from school is just maybe a short break. Then you need to be able to work on your character and build your character, both intellectually and both academically or information-wise, if not academically, right? So you can be out of the system is fine. But secondly, you need to be willing to learn from your peers. These can be your competitors. These can be just people in your circle who are doing similar moves, right? So I'm calling now education into leadership when I speak of leadership, because I cannot speak of leadership without mentioning education. So you must be a person that is willing to learn and educate yourself based on what your peers are doing. You need to listen when everyone is loud. You need to be loud when everyone is quiet. That's how you move. And then the third point when it comes to education, you need to be able to learn from the people that have gone the route before you, right? The people who've got great eminence, which is something that is very rare in Africa. I know I'm sitting across them now here in this panel, that people who have gone the route and who have achieved great eminence, right? In spite the Africa's the way things are structured in Africa. but you need to be willing to learn from those people, right? And now this bridges now the gap between potential and success. Because if you're learning from people who have actually done this thing and actually achieved it, then you are bridging that gap, right? So this brings me to the point of mentorship, right? So when you're learning from people that have gone the route, you are being mentored, right? So why is mentorship important? Mentorship is important because you're not just learning from what to do based on what they've done, you're also learning what not to do, right? You're not learning from their successes only, you are learning from their mistakes. If formal education or education in South Africa or in Africa gives us degrees, then mentorship gives us direction, if you get what I'm saying. So as much as it's important to educate ourselves, to be charismatic, to have developed our character, to have developed our integrity, but it also becomes very important that we are able to find and get direction from the people who have already established themselves in the African context and have made success of themselves. Right. So that is your mentorship. And because I'm in the space,
I have a question for you, Anele.
Say again?
I have a question for you, Anele. I have a question for you. I can feel like
Yes,
you have so much fire. You know, and but I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So how does that the mentorship, you know, talking around mentorship as you mentioned, how does mentorship, you know, influences the way we do business or we build entrepreneurs in our new generation? Did you hear what I said?
If I captured you correctly there, Mr. Simao, your question was how does mentorship influence entrepreneurship, right? The way we do business.
In our current time.
Yes. Correct. Yes, I captured you, right? Yes, sir. Look, as I was building up to it, right? Mentorship bridges the gap between what we know and actually what we do. Knowledge is something, Mr. Sibao, that we can all have, right? It's nice to have business ideas who are very innovative and creative, and especially in this particular context, we've got very brilliant young people, right? Who are very, very brilliant, who've got ideas. But what carries an idea forward is not what you know, right, beforehand, because on the field and in the arena, it's an entire different story. You can have a comprehensive business plan that's going to make you millions, which makes sense and pumps up your adrenaline. But when you get on the field, you would need someone who's actually been on the field. So how does that influence entrepreneurship? It is very important that entrepreneurs learn practically from successes in the entrepreneurial space, right? Not just in terms of knowledge. It is important that we build ecosystems and networks with people that are more successful, of people who are a notch above us in terms of success, that they may influence, because those people, we see them as leaders, they may influence our decisions, our behavior, and what we get up to when we execute our businesses. Because I cannot execute a business as per the plan, but I will have now challenges along the way. But where do I get the resilience to keep going? Where do I get the advice when the spreadsheet is not balancing? You know, when those numbers are just not making sense anymore, when the market is just not nodding to your will. How are you going to learn that? Because it's your first time on the market. Then that becomes gap that is filled by a mentor, because a mentor can give you practical steps saying, I've been there, this is how I came out of it. Right. We do not have enough time and enough capital as Africans to ponder and play around and fail and get up and fail and get up. So it's important that the people that have gone the route give us the information that is relevant for us to make it the first time we try it.
But then there's something I want you to explain. Apologies for the sound here. Let me see if I can get. Okay, good. Can you hear me well now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So the other point I wanted to mention here is that
Yes, sir.
when you mention about having a business plan that it can make you millions, how do you actually know? Because I think this is also something very important within the mentorship process. When we are training young people, uh, we forget to tell them the real content of building a business plan, right? So now everybody goes out there and tries to get a business plan, trying to hire someone to write the business plan for them, which they don't even understand themselves as entrepreneurs because they did not actually work on it. So now, even if you work on it, what is this really relevant? In this process of mentorship, that you need to tell people or young people, or aspiring entrepreneurs, that they need to put so much focus and intention on building business plan. What is your say on that?
Look, Mr. Smau, there's nothing wrong about drafting a business plan, right? I think that's where it all begins, right? But my contribution here is on the practical utility of what is being planned and what is being learned, right? So what I'm then saying is, as much as we are going to plan, but we need to execute. And when we get to the execution level, that is where mentorship becomes very key, because once you are in the arena, sir, you need someone who's actually going to practically hold your hand, or someone you are going to go to, as I said, when that spreadsheet is not working out according to the plan that you have set. Right. So we don't need passive mentors. We don't need passive mentorship. We need active mentorship. We need people who have volunteered themselves to be active mentors. Because passive mentorship is everywhere. You can go on YouTube and you find someone talking about the business that you're trying to get to. But we need an active mentor, a person that you can call and consult with and say, look, things are not going to the plan. What do I do now? That is without that is my contribution, and that is how practically it can be applied. Right. So to bridge the gap between a plan and your success is the practical utility and active mentorship, not passive mentorship.
Okay, I understand. But in your process, because I want to bring Fabrice on board.
Yes, sir.
But I'm trying to see if it's connected. Mr. Fabrice, are you with us?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So as we were discussing about mentorship, unfortunately your connection was giving us a little bit of a trouble. But in our discussion here with Anele, it was mentioned about the impact of mentorship in the process of building entrepreneurs in the continent. What do you say about that? Do you feel like mentorship is important to build a new generation of entrepreneurs and leaders in Africa?
I'm sorry, there is.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yes, of course. I believe that mentorship. Let me see. I was talking that the mentorship is very important for young people, for young entrepreneurs, because by mentorship they can have Are you getting me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. You are crushing a bit, but we can hear you.
Yes. I was talking that mentorship is very important for young entrepreneurs because within mentorship they can have the knowledge and experience, but a practical experience sharing so that they can go step by step. This that means that the mentorship is very crucial for young entrepreneurs in Africa because it is very difficult to do your business without having someone helping you to develop new strategy, how to sell your product. That means that it is important for mentorship to get to for young entrepreneurs in Africa, not even in Africa, even across the world, because most successful entrepreneurs have been sharing or testifying their experience that mentorship has helped them to grow very easily and scale their business. Yes. I'm sorry, my camera is turned off because of low internet quality,
No, it's
but
not a
I
problem.
think you are
Not a problem.
understanding.
Yeah, as long as we can hear you nicely, that's all we need. So for those who are following us on social media, please make sure that you keep on sharing the link. Let people know about what we're doing currently. It's very important so that you don't just benefit alone, but others as well can listen to this wonderful and marvelous input that we're getting here. So going back, in the conversation, I think Anela, who is the person that you feel like he is a mentor for you, someone that you look up to, that has made you the person that you are today, and why?
Personally, myself, are you referring to me, Mr. Suma, asking me about my
Yes, you.
mentor? Yes. Well, there's quite a few people I look up to, and it cannot be one person, because this thing is also very subjective and also relevant to what you are trying to learn from that particular individual. You never get one thing from one person, everything from one person. That's what I'm trying to say, right? But I've got a few that I would like to mention. I think from home, it will be my dad, the chief that I just mentioned here, right? From his modest qualities and his ability to just lead. I think most of my leadership qualities I draw from him. I'm still learning to this day from him. It's just that raw indigenous knowledge that you get from genuine leaders and authentic leaders. And I think if you take some of those values and you mix them with the current climate of leadership, then you are well set up. So he's one of them. And then secondly, I've learned a lot from the former chairperson of Sasol, Mr. Mandla Ganjo, who happens to be a very close mentor of mine, who have shown me the other side of the world because my father was indigenous and stuff like that. So he has shown me corporate, he has shown me how finance works, So I draw from him those qualities, right? And professional character, right? In the context of business. And lastly, I am very well mentored by almost a peer of mine, right? Because I'm after education, I'm not after age, I'm just after education. I'm well mentored by Ugama Tuba, an amazing, amazing, amazing gentleman with a strong acumen in business, strong acumen in spirituality and religion. Those are guys that I look up to. So I'm drawing different aspects from different individuals, kinds.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, it's always good to have people that you look up to, and it drives you to a certain way. Mr. Fabris, are you with us? Mr. Fabris, can you hear? Mr. Fabris? Okay, maybe he's still trying to fix out his this connectivity issue. But anyways, this was a nice conversation. But I just have one more thing that I want us to bring up here, that is going to also help us to have an idea of what you guys as entrepreneurs have been doing. I wanted to mention in one of the you know stories that has marked your journey as a mentor, because I know within the Edukazi you are a mentor. You're mentoring young people, you're training, empowering, you have a mentorship program. Tell us about this story. What is this big story that has marked your journey that you will never forget?
Mr. Smart, thank you for that question. As my mentorship started around education, it was like always revolving around education, right? This is because of the privileges and the disadvantages that some of us have and others don't. You know, I was privileged enough from a rural area to go and grow up in a in a township context in the Western Cape, right in Mossel Bay. That's where I grew up. So, but I was deep rooted in the villages, the rural settlements of Lady Frey, in the Eastern Cape. Now, going home, I would see the difference, a difference in the way we view and perceive the world, right? Because when I got there, I was exposed to an entire different life than my peers were in the rural areas, right? We were all going to school, right? Perhaps learning maths, all of us learning business, learning everything. But then our outlook when it comes to life generally was completely different. Those people still believe that there are people from TV, right? Like they never had anybody who was seen live on TV being able to interact and breathe common air with them, right? So they believe that there's some superiority that is attached to a person that appears on TV, which then makes it easy for them to even imagine them being in such spaces. Right? But what was immediate to them
Yeah.
was those big rows of them who are there, who are drinking alcohol regularly, who are going out to build those houses there to get those pitch jobs in the village and come back and spend their money on alcohol. So that is the cycle that they were exposed to, right? But now that bothered me very much because especially when I went to university and experienced a completely different life as well. And I was like, no, look, I've got peers there, but in this thinking, they've also studied, but they don't know about this world. Right. So my purpose then is to go back there and show them the possibilities that can lead them, and that can also spark that fire of dreaming again in them, And when I come back and show and tell them that, look, I met with NSPC last week, it sounds like a dream to them. It's so unrealistic. It sounds like a dream. So how do I bridge that gap of opportunity, that gap of dream, and get them dreaming about big things, and also exposing them to the practical side of these big things manifesting into reality? So that's where the mentorship came about, right? Going back to the community and telling you these are the possibilities that you've got, right? I have not made it in life, but I know that you are missing a lot of information that Anele is currently. Understand? Because there's huge potential in those rural areas that not that can even be better than what I would ever amount to. You understand? But it's just that there's a knowledge gap. There's a huge
Yeah.
knowledge gap. So my purpose was to fill that gap, right? Then the reason my organization is called Educas is because, as the name suggests, we're trying to educate, which is edu, and then ukasi stands for your home place, your home ground, right? Ekas. You should know this, Mr. Small. You stay in Cape Town. So educasi means going back and educating your home ground. So this is not only subject to Anele. Home ground can be for anyone who comes and joins Educasi, right? Home ground is those underprivileged and marginalized communities that we leave behind us and go chase opportunities, right? Even before we can make it, we decided that let's go back and let us lift as we rise. because it's going to be too late if we wait until we have accomplished ourselves. What we need to do is to ensure that we spark a little bit of fire and make sure that all these kids avoid having to experience life in cycles, So the mentorship came up after then. Go back then and we tell them, look, you don't have to make the same mistakes that I've made. These are the things that I wish I knew when I was at your level or at your position. Yeah. So had I known those things at that time, I would be in a better position. So I'm giving them to you for free, that you can be in a better position than where I started. So that is the entire purpose of the mentorship. So it has become a very beautiful thing, because now it did not only focus on academics, it had 3 legs in it. We focus now on psychosocial support, which is your mental wellness, just to tune your brain to be ready, because most of what is accomplished today is not merely administrative work, Mr. Smart. Most of what people are is character. The reason we're going to have problems in leadership now in politics is because there was never any work done in character. All the work was done in administrative abilities. So that's not all you need. You need character, you need resilience, you need morality, right? So that is another thing that we're trying to enforce through life coaching, that how do you build a resilient human being that is moral, that can live with other people in a community. And then thirdly, we focus then on developing careers, whether you are going into business or whether you are going into the corporate space. You're not doing career guidance, we are developing careers, practically developing careers. If you have an interest in business, then we put you in an incubator program for business people and entrepreneurs. If you have a passion for going to corporate, then we align you with corporates that could potentially give you a job and put you there for practical skills. You understand? So that is how the mentorship program is structured. And Educasa then gave birth to a lot of other programs that I don't think are relevant to our discussion here today. But when it comes to the context of mentorship, we have been so privileged to have so many people who have amassed under the common idea, who have joined their hearts, their hands, and they were willing to lift as they rise. They're willing to learn and teach at the same time. So we're sitting now at a great number to begin 2025 with 120 mentors are boarded at Educasa, right, for 2025. That number is still, the applications are not even open. These were just people who reached out, and some of them were handpicked. We add that number to the number that we had throughout the year, right? So we're looking to grow that number as far as we can. We're looking to impact as many people as we can. The program is not just now for kids in high schools, it's now for kids in universities, it's now for people outside of school, it's now for entrepreneurs, and it is now for leaders, because we've got what we call the Educasa Academy. We empower leaders, we empower business people, we empower people who want to go into corporate and develop their careers in that manner. Yeah, so it has been an amazing journey. Say again?
I'm saying that is an amazing work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's an amazing work. I mean, so what advice would you give to the young people out there who are following us and maybe would like to join what you're doing?
Look, the first advice is that if anything that I say now, if any of this makes sense, then reach out to me. If any of what I said makes sense, reach out to me. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a person willing to learn, you see yourself as a mentee, you see yourself as a mentor. There's no bounds to it. Just reach out to me. Let's make it work. But secondly, most importantly, is that there is just there's no saviors coming really, and I think the sooner we tap into that, the better. If we are going to be a business person waiting for capital, it's not going to happen in Africa. We don't have much of that. But what we do have is a change of value, which is something that we're always good at, right? We never knew money. We knew how to barter. I would give you my sheep for your goat. That's how we operated, right? So if you're waiting for capital, you're waiting for something that is very foreign to us, that it might come, but even when it comes, 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So because we're not used to this context of business, but we're used to trading. So don't be afraid to go out there, start whatever you're starting, but don't wait for money. Know that you can exchange value. Money is just a store of value. I can give you my sheep, you can give me your gold. I can, with my camera, take pictures of your brand, and you give me a t-shirt in return. That is how we operate. That is how we create the ecosystems that are functional in grooming everything that we need. We don't really need money as much as it is important, because the entire world is structured around currency. But value money would meet us at a different level if you understand the meaning of value. That's just my input there.
No, wonderful. Thank you very much, Anele, for bringing that, and it's really inspiring. You know what you have been doing, your journey, and how you actually interpret leadership and mentorship. You know, showing to the young people the right way to go. Because I always say as well that mentorship is all about um, instructing, the man to the right way so that he doesn't do the same mistakes we have done before, right? So it is this the secret that we need in Africa is a younger generation that believes in mentorship, because we are struggling in Africa to have a younger generation that believes in mentorship. Everybody believes in leadership. Everybody believes like, oh yeah, I want to be the great leader. I want to be this. I love the way Nelson Mandela was a good leader. But you do not know that Nelson Mandela went through a certain journey of mentorship and coaching that made him be who he was at his time. We look at people that we aspire to become one day, and we forget that all these people, when they cry, they go to someone to cry to for advice and for recommendations and for mentoring. But because we don't look at that, that's why we feel like we don't value mentorship anymore. Today we have a generation of young people who don't value mentorship anymore. You understand? Mentorship has become something like, oh, I can learn these things on my own. I don't need anybody around me to tell me that how I should write a business plan or how I should talk to a customer. I will learn as I go. Let me fail on my own. That's what people say. Young people will say, let me fail on my own. I want to fail so I can learn. No, man. I mean, why do you want to fail if you have someone who can teach you not to fail? You know what I mean? So this is what we are facing today. So if we are able to, educate young people from all levels, even entrepreneurs, to understand the power of mentorship in their journey of growth, because I mean, mentorship is a journey, it's a lifestyle, it's not a career that you go study for. That's why I told some of the students that are studying entrepreneurship in CPUT here in Cape Town. I told them, now you finish your degree in entrepreneurship, who do you think is going to hire you? I asked them a question. You finish your degree, in entrepreneurship, who do you think is going to hire you? You're not going to be hired. Do you think, someone who is a CEO, like a CEO of a company who built his own company, is going to hire you to do what? To come and run this company? No. You understand? So, like, people need to have a different perspective of understanding of what entrepreneurship entails. And we as entrepreneurs, as individuals who are, focused on mentorship, we are facing a huge problem in our community, which is education of young people to understand the impact and the value that mentorship still hides within it, that we need to benefit from. If Africans understand that it takes a whole community to raise a child, we will value mentorship. We will value mentorship, because that is mentorship. When we say it takes a whole community to raise a child, we're talking about mentorship. You understand? We can't run away from that. And if we want young people today to become good leaders, to become powerful leaders in the future, powerful entrepreneurs, they need to understand the impact that mentorship has in their journey. Okay, so kudos to you, Anele, for bringing that up. It's really, really powerful and really important that we come up with that. So, Mr. Fabrice, thank you for coming back. I see that your connection is now much better. Can you hear me? I think you are on mute. You are on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Because I can't hear you.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, I wanted to get to the close of this conversation because I wanted us to get a little break before we go to the next speaker. But I want you to come up and speak, give us a bit of your journey as a leader, as a young leader in Africa, because you are not just a Burundian leader, you are an African leader. You are everywhere. You have done so much so far. I mean, fighting for peace, working on peace in Africa, it's not an easy job, right? So tell us your journey. How's it been? How your experience in this journey of promoting peace and SDGs in Africa? How's it been your experience?
Thank you very much for the question. As we were talking before, it is because I got mentorship, for example. If not, I should have given up. My leadership in Africa was not very easy because I started my organization while I was just graduated from high school before attending the universities in order to bring a positive change in the community. And then I've been uh, a delegate for UNESCO at the Pan African Forum for the Culture of Peace, Biennale Rwanda, a tripartite program of the African Union and the UNESCO and the government of Angola. And from that, my skills, I've been meeting different stakeholders and actor working on peace and security. And my journey on working at African level has really started at that stage because by meeting African Union official, I've been thinking, but there is different policies at African Union, but they are just policies. They are not turned into concrete action. And then why not you are having good policies, but when it comes to the implementation, there is nothing. I was just making such a recommendation to turn the policies into concrete action. And then I've been reading some African youth charters, the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, where uh, the African stakeholders has decided that they have to silence the gun by 2020, but unfortunately it has been postponed to 2030. And
Mm.
I was asking, but why postponing? But you have to take the concrete action. You understand that it was a challenging discussion because when we try to see the peace and security in Africa, it is still challenging. And across the world, when it comes to the conflict areas, they refer to Africa because it's like the identity of Africa has been changing to the conflict areas and poor countries. And then by young people, it is to us to change that mindset, and that is what we are currently really doing to bring another overview of African young people in order to engage meaningfully for peace and the sustainable development goals. And it was also not easy as I talk about leadership because, for example, for a youth-led organization advocating of young people rights and youth inclusion, while you understand all the background of the challenges we were facing, but because we had different role model and mentors who has a successful organization that give us some advices, we didn't give up, and we are continuing working on it. And what I can mention here, we've already started from Burundi to the African Great Lake region because now the different stakeholders and partners are doing what we are currently working on, especially for peace. For example, where we are currently working with Interpeace in a regional project in bringing together Burundi, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And not only about limited to that, for example, ahead of high-level conference within the United Nations, there are different consultation we are attending so that we can bring the view of African young people to the policies. And then we make a declaration for young people across the world, and the African is also represented. The idea from Africa are also taken into consideration. That means that, and also our organization have been accredited at the United Nations Environment Program because of that advocacy on the youth meaningful engagement to promote peace, water, and climate action. I, that's why I can really support the idea of advocacy for the importance of mentorship opportunities. Because without, for example, me for before going into the humanitarian project, I've got meeting different stakeholders, working on the private sectors, humanitarian sector, and then I've decided to work on humanitarian. That's why without meeting, for example, such mentor, I could have not been where I am here. Because currently I can say that our my myself and my organization reputation, because the last week I was talking about the reputation of our organization has increased. And if you can see the photo behind me, is where I was attending, for example, the United Nations Water Conference in New York UN headquarters. You understand, from Africa, from a country like Burundi, attending such meeting with an idea, and we have a youth position paper because we were having the consultation, young youth consultation, so that we can have the that opportunity to advocate for young people. And even by participating, just to talk about some example, uh, it was not very easy because ahead of that conference, there was a consultation and we brought an open letter to the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations to ask for youth participation in the meeting. And fortunately, it was accepted, and the different young people were attending across the world because before that young people were not meaningfully engaged. And that was a little bit about my journey. And also for those who are following us, there is an online course that we've been developed.
Okay, I think like we have lost Fabrice again. But anyways, um, I think the best the we managed to get some good insights from what he said. I mean, he's a great entrepreneur, great social entrepreneur. He has been doing so much for the continent, traveling all across the world, attending really powerful meetings to ensure that our continent gets the support and the attention that is needed. So, well, I'm going to stop from here, and I will let us to have some break. You know, we will come back with other speakers who are going to also engage on different topics. But so far, it was an amazing moment. Thank you, Anele, for joining us. Thank you for being with us here, and we will definitely keep this again for another session coming up. We will be discussing on more topics around mentorship and leadership within the Entrepreneurs MBA, and we'll be glad to bring you on board again for some of our training sessions that are going to be live. It's going to be really amazing. So thank you very much, and yeah, we'll see you guys. Whoever is following us from YouTube or LinkedIn, feel free. We will continue to engage. And a 10 minutes break, and we will be back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you very much to everybody who took some time to wait for us to come back. So we are back again right here. This is Entrepreneurs Network and Business Advancement Summit 2024. Happening today live from Cape Town, the mother city, beautiful, beautiful city. And we've just had a really nice time with other gentlemen, Anele. We had a nice time with Anele Silo, the president of um, Edukazi. And we also had a very nice time with Fabrice Borongoto, who also led us through a very good moment of interaction around his work and what he's been doing in Africa as a peace fighter, peace promoter. So a wonderful thing. So they discussed, they mentioned a lot of points around leadership and mentorship. But now uh, I would like to call up on board uh, someone very important to all of us, especially to me. She has been a cornerstone to a lot of development in Africa, especially among young people. Her name is Dr. Aileen Sheng. Um, she is I'll preferably introduce her as the CEO of the African Media Chamber of Commerce, but she wears a lot of hats. She's doing a lot of different things around the continent and outside the continent, from film to youth empowerment. And she also is a strategic advisor to the Youth Advisory Board for the FCFTA, and many, many other things that she's doing. She's a really successful businesswoman as well. And I would like to bring her on board. I just saw she was connected, but apparently she just left. I don't know, she might be facing some technical issues, but we should get her back. We should get her back. And once she's back, we will bring her on board. So please, from wherever you are, share this video, share the link on YouTube. If you're watching us from YouTube, please share the video from the YouTube. Ask the people to follow us, to also share with their friends, so we can be able to all together watch what we are, learn from what we're doing here. So this is, as I say, it's the
entrepreneurs network, and business advancement. Okay, I think Dr. Lynn is back. Okay. Hello, Dr. Lynn. Can you hear me? Hello, doctor. Doc- Can you hear me? I don't know if she can hear. Okay, she said her network is very shaky. Let's see if we are able to get her back. Doctor, can you hear me? Okay, I don't know what's going on my side. Yeah. Okay, no problem. So while we are waiting for Dr. Eileen to get back, I will be happy to. I'll be happy to bring Shike on. Let me bring Shike on. It would be nice to also learn from um, uh, our guest.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Shike. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Ellen just sent me a message. She's having network issues at the moment, so she's struggling to connect.
Okay, okay, no stress. That's okay.
So in her place, I'll be talking about the agricultural side. I'm not sure if she shared the presentation I sent to her earlier.
Sorry, I can't hear you perfectly. I'm having some difficulty.
Can you hear me now?
Try to speak again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so hi.
Yes.
So hi guys, my name is Chike Igwebe. I'm currently based here in South Africa. I'm the founder of Ego Trinity, and we've been doing this for quite some time. We've been deploying circular economy systems here in South Africa. One of our latest venture is what we call GROBS. GROBS is a concept, is a circular economy concept that we deployed now. I think I'm just going to share my screen. Can I share my screen quickly? So I can hear you.
Yes, you can share.
Okay, cool. Yeah, can you see my? Hello? Hello? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, Grubs is a farm to fork concept. It's a pioneering farm which we've deployed over the years that literally transform organic crops into wholesome prepared meals. Through this sustainable practice and innovative technology, we've been redefining the future of agricultural production, food production here in South Africa. I actually started this journey about 12 years ago, where I had like a health challenge, and then from that health challenge, I started growing my food sustainably at my premises, and from there on, I kind of created a business venture out of this, where we can monetize all the crops grown within my yard and convert that into food. So we've been doing this for quite some time. We've deployed like sustainable solutions, drip solutions for our farming solutions. We've deployed biodigester systems that convert all of the organic waste into energy, mostly for cooking purposes. So we've come a long way with this concept, and it's really a circular economy system. And thus, moving on to the next slide. So what we've done now is now we're expanding this business, where we're looking to now connect more small scale farmers into the concept, where we source organic crops, and from there on we kind of convert all of this to organic meals. So we're looking to replicate this system, this concept across the country, this farm to fork concept, where we give households with small farms, gardens, an opportunity to generate some revenue from what they are producing at their homes. Some people grow a lot of lettuce and they just don't know what to do to it. We, in this instance, we're able to bring them on board, and we help convert these crops into meals, and we pay them for doing such. So one of the key aspects of what we're doing now, we're also trying to launch a franchise system where we deploy specialized dome structures that we provide crops, in an airtight insulated domes, that we can control the airflow, manage everything properly. And these domes can be installed just about anywhere. Within a week, we can deploy these domes anywhere across the country. And we have a plug-in system where literally from there on, the crops being generated from these domes are converted into prepared meals. So this aspect, it allows us to ensure food security in rural communities, in areas, in townships, just about anywhere across the country. This is just a small design of what our domes look like and how we'll be deploying them across the country. And we're looking to get into partnerships with locals. Already we're doing that here in the Gauteng region, where we're partnering with some municipalities, where some of these municipalities are currently having challenges with sewage waste. So we're looking to plug into some of these townships that have challenges with sewage. We convert all of that into energy, and we're able to power our greenhouses, and produce enough crops, for these communities, and also at the same time produce food for them as well. So, like I mentioned earlier, the process is quite simple. It's quite straightforward. When we come into an area, we plug in our systems, we harvest the organic waste being generated. we convert that into energy, and we channel that energy into our specialized greenhouses and our kitchen. And we process all of the meals prepared there, and we now start selling from there on. So literally, this allows us to sell at much cheaper and affordable, prices, to the local communities and to the public at large. This concept itself, as I mentioned earlier, ensures food security for communities and the country at large. So what do we do with the waste which we harvest? Like I mentioned, our system collects all of the organic waste during food production as well. Just imagine a scenario where restaurants, they generate a lot of waste, and this waste is sent into like the sewage system and whatnot. With our concept, we are able to instantly convert all of that into energy, and we feed that back into the restaurant. So the waste converted is reused and like for cooking and for heating and also for electricity, depending on the quantity of waste being generated. So so far, when I started this venture, I started it on a small scale. We deployed the solar energy system, a small bio gas system that generates, harvests all of our organic waste. And from there on, we've been able to monetize this concept where we now efficiently generate energy for our facilities as well. So this is just a small explanation of what we also do. Besides the energy which we generate, we also recycle, we also aid in water conservation. And as we all know, South Africa is struggling when it comes to water conservation and sewage challenges. So our system literally helps in dealing with all of that. And when you go through our website, we have like a lot of meals that you can see from there that which we already convert. So depending on wherever you are, whatever crops you have, we can come in, plug in our system. You buy into the franchise, we convert all of that into waste, and we start producing, enhancing your farm as well. Or if it's a household, if you have a big yard and you want to like grow a lot of crops, for your family and also make some extra money, and we can do that for you as well. So yeah, this is just a small explanation of the growth opportunities of what we are trying to achieve so far. And this is just part of our team members. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I'll welcome any question. I know it's just last minute, but if you have any question, I'll sure be able to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shika, for giving a minute. I think it's better now. Okay, so Mr. Shika, thank you very much for that. That was an amazing presentation. How long have you been working on this project?
I've been working on this for over 10 years now. Yeah.
Okay, that's an amazing work. I mean, which countries have you been operating in?
No, so far we just operating here in South Africa for now, but in the future we're looking to expand across Africa as well.
But where is South Africa?
In Gauteng, in the VAR region.
In Gauteng.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
Well, we'll definitely engage even outside this meeting so that we can be able to, would love to get to know more about what you're into, how this thing, your business is working, and how we can, see value within it that I could put my hands on. So that would be really, really amazing to discuss. But as I say, thank you very much for coming up with this. There's no really much questions around that. So I would like to bring Dr. Aileen. I hope she's there.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Dr. Aileen, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, but I cannot see or hear you. I mean, you cannot see or hear me. I don't know why. So I think I'm going to try some other ways to connect. Can you hear or see me? Hello.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
You cannot see me. Okay. I'm having some problems with my network. So
Well, if
if you
your
can hear,
connection is better like this, then it's fine.
um, so if you can hear me, it's can I do I need to turn on my camera? Is it necessary?
Well, you can turn on your camera if it's not going to affect your connection.
Hello, can you see me now?
Hello.
Hi. Finally, I'm so sorry. I had to move from my room to outside to get this done. So I'm so sorry about the connectivity problems. But hi, everybody. We're going to just go through this workshop real quick. So the topic today is for sustainable business strategy for long-term growth. And if I follow the agenda, which I wanted to send it to Lucy earlier, but the connection was not allowing me to do that. But basically, the agenda is introduction of the speaker, which is myself, and Chike, who just presented, and then the overview of the session, which is goals, formats, and key takeaways, and then icebreakers for everybody who joined our session, which is what does sustainability mean to your business? I'm hoping to have at least 3 quick responses from attendees. And then I'm going to go over the key principles of sustainable business strategies. Um, and Chike, since Chike has already presented the case studies, perhaps some of us can maybe give some feedback and what, you know, perhaps cite some of the examples on what you did on in your business that's similar to what Chike has done, and how did that impact your bottom line and the overall company culture. And the last thing that we're going to do is to have a interactive exercise. So we want the attendee to identify one area of their business that can adopt a sustainable practice, and then wrap up with Q&A. So this is the agenda for the session. So I'm going. I just want to make sure, Lucy, you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Hello, Lucy. Can you hear me? Because I only see myself in at the session, but I don't see anybody else. Lucy, are you there? Okay. If somebody can put in the chat to confirm that they can hear me, that would be very helpful. And when I'm still waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself. So I'm Dr. Eileen Chang. I'm based in the U.S., California, and I have a lot of interactions in Africa. Because I'm the founder of African Youth Diaspora Organization. I'm also a member of parliament for the state of African Diaspora. Right now, I act as the vice president of the parliament for Asia Pacific region for the state. And I am a senior advisor for the AFCFTA Youth Advisory Council. And among that, to adopt branding strategy, I created the Africa Media Chamber of Commerce. So nice meeting you all. I'm so sorry, I actually don't. I mean, from where I am, I cannot see the audience, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue my session. I'm hoping that Lucy, when at some point when you can start hearing me, please join me just so that I can make sure that you are with me, and then some of the audience can hear me. So today we are, as I said before, we're going to talk about sustainable business strategies for long-term growth. Oh, okay, Lucy, I can see you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so have you heard my introduction and etc.?
Yes, I had everything. I was just on the background. I had to leave you to the full
Okay,
screen.
great, great. Because I cannot see any audience from my side, when it comes to the interactive session, is it possible for them to join and answer some of the questions?
Well, the audience is following from YouTube and LinkedIn. So if they have questions or they have comments, they will comment from where they're following and it's gonna appear here.
Okay, so will you be able to read the feedback from LinkedIn or YouTube?
Yeah, I will. I'm able to read this.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first interactive session, we would like to ask our audience, what does sustainability mean to them in their business? What does sustainability mean to your business? So we can start from you, Lucy, and then we can go to the audience feedback.
Okay, sustainability for me, it's well, I would say it's about ensuring that the business is able to continue, for long term. Maintaining operations and making profit. That's basically what sustainability for me translates to.
Okay, that sounds great. Can you tell me, can you give some feedback from, I'm so sorry again about the background because I have to come out of my office to get better internet because I'm traveling right now. But I hope you can hear me okay. But let's get some feedback from some of the audience. What does sustainability in business mean to them? If you see any feedback, please go ahead. Or, you know,
No feedbacks yet. You can go ahead.
okay, all right. So, by the definition, we can definitely alter that and adopt it, however we see fit. But sustainability in business usually refer to creating value in a way that balances economic growth, social responsibility, and environmental stewardship. So I invite the audience and Lucy yourself to see if you have achieved that in your own business. So in terms of the economic pillar is to ensure financial viability and profitability over the long term. In terms of a social pillar, it's about addressing social equity, employee well-being, and community needs. In terms of environmental pillar, it's about reducing ecological impacts and promoting resource conservation. Usually, if you do it right, business that integrate these pillars not only meet current demand but also protect resources for the future generations. What are the benefits of sustainability? Um,
Dr. Arlene, are you with us? Doctor?
Hello, can you hear me? Lucy, can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
lost you. We lost you a little bit.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. So I was asking for examples of to invite the audience. What are some of the benefits of sustainability? Can you hear me?
Well, I believe that the benefits of sustainability, one of them is that it allows businesses to um, continue operations, to maintain operations. Um, yeah, that's one of the benefits.
Okay. So some of the other benefits are competitive advantage. Sustainable business attracts eco-conscious customers and investors. Basically, especially in the US, a lot of our consumers, they actually vote with their dollars. They do care about, environmental impacts as well as what's, the company culture and what the company brand represents in the market. So that is part of a competitive advantage. It's about branding, it's about culture. And then cost saving, energy efficiency, waste reduction, and resource optimization reduce operating expenses. Customer loyalty, like I said before, when customers identify your brand, especially for Gen Z, it's really important to them that their brand identify with their personal belief. So it helps to create personal customer loyalty. Also, it helps with regulatory compliance, proactivity to comply with environmental and social regulations, avoids legal issues. Also, sometimes in the US, especially when it comes to energy utilization, it also can help you to save tax money. And I don't know how it is in South Africa. So, Lucy, you want to if you know anything about that, please go ahead. And audience, if you know anything about that, you're welcome to join us. So, what are some of the more practical advantage there is in South Africa that you know of?
Well, there's a lot of different advantages in Africa. It depends on in which sector or what are you trying to do. I would say that, you know. So that's basically it's very specific in terms of what you're doing, which sector you're operating on. If let's say, for example, you are an NPO, for example, or NGO, there are other opportunities that you get. Like one of them is tax exemption, which is given to um, investors who invest into non-profits. So non-profit companies usually benefit from tax exemptions. They don't pay tax. Um, but it's different from, if you are a normal property limited or you are an LLC, like if you call it in USA. And there's very different opportunities and benefits. Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So I invite the audience to individually investigate the kind of advantage that attached to your particular practices. And then also, I actually believe that as entrepreneurs, it's really important that we make our own ways. So what does it mean? If there's no existing regulations that create benefits associated with sustainable practices, I would suggest that we come together and create regular lobby actually offer that kind of as entrepreneurs. Okay, so let's go to core strategies for sustainable business. So the core strategies for sustainable business include circular economy practice, and TK just gave an excellent examples of what circular economy looks like. And that includes design systems that minimize waste by reusing, recycling, and repurposing resources. Now, the second strategy is energy efficiency and resource optimization. That includes adopting renewable energy sources and efficient technology to reduce carbon emission and optimizing resource usage to cut costs and improve sustainability metrics. And then the third strategy is community engagement and ethical practices. that involve local communities in business activity through partnership and programs, uphold ethical standards in labor practices, sourcing, and governance. So by focusing on these principles, business can ensure long-term resilience and positive societal impact. And I believe that's one of the benefits that nobody really talked about, but it should be included, is actually feel good. Just by doing good, you feel better, and I think that you balance your spirits and your soul, and in that way, you can actually trickle down to health, your mental health, wellness. Okay, so the last part of my talk, I wanted to have an interactive session, but I don't know if it's possible because I'm not able to actually have, direct audience contact. But maybe we can just use Lucy's business as an example. So Lucy, overviewing your business right now, can you pick out one area where you can include a sustainable practice?
One area I can actually identify that um, is it's in the partnership part of it.
I love
So
that.
yeah, so we have developed so much in terms of partnership. We have created so much in terms of human capital that empowers our work. You know, to a point that even the need of inclusion of financial input, it's not really a very relevant thing, because the number of relationships that has been built around the company allow the company to continuously, improve a long term, without having to put capital, monetary capital down. So this is what has kept us going, because we have understood that in our model as a company, in order for us to keep the company sustainable, we need to surround the company with powerful relationships, powerful partners. And that allowed us to cut a lot of costs, and also allowed us to strategically align ourselves with what actually matters to us.
That's beautiful. I really congratulate you to have such insight and wisdom in integrating these ideas into your business practices. I want to wrap up the session by telling you a story. Um, to be honest, I want to thank Lucy for inviting me to talk about this topic, because when we talk about sustainability, usually people just think about material resources, but they don't really think about people and culture. And I think that you
Yes.
just touched on the importance of having sustainability in people and culture. So the story I want to share with you is when I was taking my executive MBA degree program, I took a class. It's called negotiation, and I remember all my classmates, including myself, went into the class and said, okay, well, I want to learn how to win the argument or the negotiation to, maximize the benefits. And and at that time, the dean of the law school was our teacher, our instructor. And the first thing he told us was, um, the best win that you can have in a negotiation is to have a sustainable relationship with the people that you're negotiating with in the long term.
Uh-huh.
So the
Hmm.
only way you can do that is basically by being fair, right? So
Yeah.
so I invite everybody to be creative in thinking about what sustainability really means in a business and long-term benefits. So thank you so much for this session, and um, I hope to at some point I will be able to engage with the audience. Perhaps Lucy, you can share the link with me, and then I can go. We can go from there. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Dr. Eileen, for being part of this wonderful moment. You have given us so much insights, and out of your very busy schedule, you've made time to join us. I thank you for being so kind and so loving to what we're doing.
Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you. Well, everybody, thank you very much, everyone, for being with us as you follow, as you've been following us from wherever you have been, maybe from YouTube and from LinkedIn. This video of 3 hours is going to be available on social media. It's going to be available on YouTube and on LinkedIn. So please, if there is a part that you did not pick, go ahead, watch the video, watch the session, you know, share the link with your friends and family and other entrepreneurs who would be happy to join us, you know, and we thank you for making time to be with us here. So, as giving you last words, this was the Entrepreneurs Network and Business Advancement Summit 2024. We launched it for the first time online. This is our first event under the Entrepreneurs NBA. And next year, it's going to be a physical event here being hosted here in Cape Town. So let's keep us in touch. Let's keep us together. There's more to come. There's more energy, more power, more knowledge, more insights to come. So I thank you a lot for being with us during these 3 hours of engagement. So we will see you next time. And thank you to all the speakers, Mr. Fabrice, Mr. Chike, Anele. Thank you to Dr. Eileen and all other speakers who did not made time or did not have enough opportunity to join us tonight. We thank all of them for being kind and being with us during this wonderful experience. This is me, Simao Simao, the CEO of Entrepreneurial Network and Business Investment, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.